He's something that I've never seen before in my life. He's a machine.
He gives 110% every time he's out there on that field.
All power. He puts it all in, heart and soul.
Just demolishing hit by Connnor Farrell, who was a linebacker at LIU Post, and it showed there.
When he was about 5 years old, he was playing football in Pee Wee. Then lacrosse coach Tom Behrens said, how about we play a little lacrosse?
Football, he always played football and loved it. Lacrosse he played too. Each year he got better and better.
He went to college for football. And then he was able to be spoken by one of the old coaches at Post to take on lacrosse. And he took on the face-off role, and he did unbelievable things for us.
And, you know, this is where he wound up.
Connnor Farrell comes up with another one for Chrome.
Absolutely, it's crazy watching him. I go nuts, you know. I know he's one of the best athletes out there when he's out there on the field. And he's just an amazing kid, you know, from day one. I just enjoy watching him play.
To see him to be able to be on a platform like this is nothing but a dream.
He worked hard his whole life, and we knew eventually something like this was going to happen to him. He deserved it.
I think a lot of kids here have taken his inspiration.
Just watching it right now, you know, it's just crazy seeing it, you know. Can't wait to see his kids see it, you know, to watch something like this. It's amazing. It's a ride that we'll always remember for the rest of our lives.
All right, so we're live here with Connnor Farrell, who's a pro lacrosse player for the Chrome, LIU Post alumni. How are we feeling tonight, my man?
Feeling good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, welcome. Frank, I just wanted to know if you can just pull up so we can kind of see ourselves on there on the TV right now. I see the desktop. Sorry. No worries. Thank you. So what everyone just saw, which was a little promo piece that they did on you, which was a nice feature. Had you seen that before?
Yeah, I saw it before.
So just like everything the PLL has done, I thought that was really quality.
Yeah, the media team is unreal. How good they made everything do. It's really unbelievable.
Did they try to like kind of use the league to innovate from like a media perspective?
Yeah.
And they made that
especially
clear.
for this time of age, everything is like social media now, so they really go into that stuff. So
I can't believe how like instantaneous everything has been. Like it's like you win a face-off, it's like 2 minutes later, there's a tweet about the clip of you winning.
So I usually go to the other games when I'm not playing in the game, and then you see guys running back with SIM cards so they can plug it back in the computer. They can put it right online quick, so it's pretty cool.
So that's part of their process. Like that was their goal to get everything out as quickly as
possible.
possible.
Right away.
That's smart. I mean, like if there's one area they can beat, you know, other leagues to the punch, like the NHL and like all these other pro leagues, they definitely did a good job with that.
Yeah.
There's some cool other innovations. I was just reading up on it, just like little things like changing the color of the ball and like, you know, why it's easier to see from someone who's watching on TV. And, you know, it's nice that, like, you know, Paul and the league did, you know, kind of let NBC, you know, kind of run with it a little bit. And I feel like it's a huge success.
Oh, yeah.
What was it like just being a part of it?
I was just in awe the whole time. Just be a part of the whole process was unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, your story, I think the reason, you know, you might have been in awe, not just because of how awesome the league was, just because your story is kind of unique. So I think it'd be cool for someone who maybe doesn't know you, first time kind of like, you know, getting a chance to hear your story. Maybe we can kind of talk about that. Do you want to just give us a quick brief on your upbringing and, you know, just you being a big-time football player and just how much football was a part of your life growing up into college?
Yeah, so I went to St. James High School on Long Island.
Yep.
After high school, I didn't want to play lacrosse ever again. I just wanted to play football. So I went to LIU Post on a scholarship just for football. Played the first season there as a freshman, got a lot of time. And coming to the lacrosse season, about halfway through, 3/4 way through the season, they needed help at the face-off X. So my two former future roommates, PJ Usak and Frank Renfo, they were begging me to come on. And then finally I said, all right, if you last longer than 10 seconds with me in a wrestling match, I'll come on the team. And we had to bet. We wrestled, pin him in 11 seconds. So the next day I was at practice.
Was he like running around the room like avoiding you?
Yeah, he was running around at first, and then I caught him. I threw him down.
I want to know, like, did the coaches put them up to that? Or was that truly like your?
I think it was just them.
They were just being team guys. Like, hey, we need you. Like, you got.
Yeah.
Now, back in high school, did you play high school lacrosse?
Yeah, played high school lacrosse, football, and also wrestling.
And you did face-offs back in high school?
Wasn't that good at it until my junior year of college. Like I was still good, but not where I started focusing on it and really working my butt off on it.
Yeah.
And that's when I started really getting real good.
What did kind of like football give you that lacrosse didn't growing up? Like, why were you like a football guy? Consider that.
I just love just getting that urge to just hitting someone. There's nothing better than just tackling the ball carrier, and it was just awesome. I loved it.
And what about for like lacrosse? Because like when you make a transition, like playing a sport that you love, and like there's that physicality and like the idea of like just like wrapping up and taking someone down. Lacrosse is a little different. It's a lot more finesse, especially now with the rules. So like, what did maybe lacrosse give you in your college athletic experience that maybe football didn't?
Well, I definitely hate losing. I'm very competitive, so in face-offs, when I love to win, I hate losing more than I like to win. So that's what I bring over to the lacrosse, that mentality.
Gotcha. So did you like kind of like in your off season playing a sport because you're constantly competing?
Oh yeah, it kept me busy the whole time.
Yeah. So as opposed to just like lifting or something with your
Exactly.
team, you're able
Exactly.
to compete.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So talk about your success on the football field in college. Like, how did your team do when you were there?
We're good. We won two championships out of the 4 years I was there. So we played really well. Met a bunch of great guys. The coaches were unbelievable. Treated us like gold.
Yeah.
We had a good team. We had a great defense. I played middle linebacker for them.
A lot of great coaches at Post. I
Oh,
feel like
yeah.
their football programs got
Yeah.
a lot of history.
Brian Collins is an unbelievable guy.
Yeah. He definitely knows how to run.
He's been there for a while, too.
He has a lot of success,
Oh, yeah.
He recruits good local kids, it's smart.
Seriously, yeah.
Especially, I'm sure, when Hofstra folded, like, he started scooping up some studs.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. And, what are some things you learned in college, just playing football for Post? Like, what are some memories that you have that, maybe your coaches taught you or things that you did as a team?
I remember going my freshman year, I was doing that good at first in training camp, and the coach, he was yelling at me a lot. My linebacker coach yelling. And then he came over, pulled me over to the side. He's like, I'm doing this because I love you and I know that you could do it. So I learned that when the time gets rough, just keep pushing.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That just that belief and confidence just kind of push you over the edge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess he really saw something in you and that like you could kind of do anything because like with what you accomplish on the lacrosse field now, it's pretty astounding. I know people talk about a lot how like certain athletes and like their body type and like what they're successful at outside lacrosse can translate. It seems like you kind of fit that mold, but at the end of the day, it's still like there's a lot of like mental willpower, like you talked about, to fight through the things to become great.
Yeah.
So for you, like, when you first stepped on the lacrosse field, as you transitioned over and you're struggling a little bit, like what helped you kind of get through, like, hey, I need to work at this or get better at that? Like, who helped you through that process, or what'd you do to like compete with the best kids?
I think wrestling helped out in that, in the big mental game, because wrestling practice, you're in 95-degree room for about 2 hours, and you want to just like give up, quit, but you push through it because you want to help your team win. Because the wrestling is usually an individual sport, but it's also a team sport in high school and college. So that really helped me push myself in the mental game.
Yeah, that's interesting. So you had no experience with wrestling in college. This was strictly like your high school experience.
Before I got drafted to go into the PLL, I was actually going to wrestle at Post.
Really?
The coaches were recruiting me heavily to come, and I was about to do it until I got recruited.
Wow.
Until I got drafted by the PLL.
So you got, kind of going into that time of your life, you got drafted initially by the Lizards, right?
By the Lizards, yep.
So then you also that same season got drafted by the Chrome.
I think it was about a month later after I got drafted by the Lizards, I got drafted by the Chrome.
Gotcha. Why'd you decide to go with the Chrome? Like, what was the appeal there?
Coach Darja, he made me feel like I was at home.
Yeah.
And he was a great guy. He like welcomed me in like family, so it made an easy choice for me.
So you get drafted by the Chrome. For those that don't know, the Premier Lacrosse League's kicking off. It's the first inaugural season, so there's a lot of question marks initially. People are like, "Oh, this isn't going to work. Like, there's never going to be a professional lacrosse league. No one's going to ever be able to be a pro lacrosse player and make it as a living." So I think like a lot of question marks there. For you, talk about those first couple months going into training camp. Talk about training camp. Like, what was your experience like being a part of the PLL?
Being a D2 guy, I was going into training camp not knowing what to expect. And I got there, I see these guys shooting and passing around. I'm like, what is this? I'm like, I do not belong here. And then even in my first couple face-offs, I was like, I don't think I belong here. I'm not doing that good. And then I just got a little kick in my butt, and then I started doing well. And then I felt like, all right, I belong here. Now I'm ready to roll.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Did you experience, I don't know, like what was your interaction with other players? Did you talk to other guys that were like maybe from an unknown Division II or III program that like kind of felt that same thing? Or did you feel like you were on an island a little bit with like...
At first, I was a little on an island, but on my team, they welcomed me in.
Gotcha.
Everyone on my team was awesome.
Talk about some of your coaches besides Coach Starja that worked with you this past season. Like, who are some guys?
Coach Deegan, he's one of the best high school coaches to ever live, up in upstate New York near Syracuse.
Yep.
And then Coach Walker, he's from Army. He played at Army, and then he hurt his back, and then both of them just great guys.
Yeah. It's I wonder how the PL like recruited coaches.
Yeah,
I feel like they did a great
I don't
job.
really know about them, but I'm curious.
Yeah, they found some amazing coaches.
Yeah.
Cool. And I noticed, you know, as the kind of like year progressed, I watched the video a little bit earlier of training camp. It seemed like a cool experience for a lot of reasons. Like you talked about the chemistry, people bringing in guys in, developing and making more confident. It seemed like it was pretty competitive though too. Like were guys fighting to make the team, or was everyone on the team ready
You're on the team, but you're fighting to get on the roster.
to travel?
Because there's 30 guys on a team,
Yeah.
and then 20 dress, and then 22 get. Because if you don't dress, there's only 2 other spots where you get paid. So if you don't dress, you don't get paid.
Gotcha.
So everyone's fighting to make sure they get paid.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And were people making legitimate like full-time contracts? Like were they like?
Yeah, the PLL's really good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
That's awesome. And like what are some of the other guys' backgrounds? Like, you know, I think, you know, for the most part, being that the league is new and people aren't like, you know, completely invested in just like saying, hey, I want to be a pro lacrosse player. Like some of the guys that were on your team, like what else did those guys do?
A lot of the guys they're working in, like, a couple guys on Wall Street. A lot of guys are in sales.
Yeah.
But most of the guys are usually coaches.
Okay. So some might be like either college coach
College.
or
Most of them are college coaches.
even like a high school coach too.
Yeah, high school coaches too.
Gotcha. Cool. And then so you make the travel roster.
Mm-hmm.
You made it initially. You compete all year. You had a great season. You were a nominee. Weren't you a nominee too for the Rookie of the Year?
Yep, nominated for Rookie of the Year.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's
You
pretty
had
cool.
some good competition up
Yeah.
against you.
Oh yeah.
But that's an honor just to be a part of that.
Yeah, it was an honor.
So you have a huge season, and like, you know, it was cool. It was cool to see your success. I feel like the league really like took you in because like I guess you got great hair, personality. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, yeah.
Why do you feel as though like you just why do you think the PLO was like a great home for you and like they really like they showed who you were?
I think personally it was my hair. I'm very noticeable, but like when I just show how good their social media is.
Yeah.
I graduated college with like 1,600 followers on Instagram. Now I'm over. I think I'm just about like 13,000 right now.
Wow.
In just a span of 3 months.
Yep.
So pretty unreal how much they blew me up.
Sure. Yeah. No, it helps. I mean, it's pretty cool. It's like a mutual appreciation, but it's also it's pretty funny how quickly things can happen.
Yeah, seriously.
these days.
Yeah.
No, it's pretty cool. And just kind of backtracking a little bit, we watched a video earlier of, I don't know, do you know when that was shot, when they did that kind of feature on you and they had your
That was
parents and
after the second game in the season. It was we played at Red Bull Arena the second week, and then they wanted to do that because the first week I had that really big hit and I did good in face-offs.
Yep.
And the second week I had an even better week in face-offs. I went like over 77% against a really good guy.
Cool.
So they wanted to do like a little special on me.
Now, a couple of people were interviewed in that video. The first one was your college lacrosse coach,
He was one of the assistants.
one of the assistants.
Yeah, college.
And what was your relationship like with him?
Oh, he was an awesome guy.
Yeah.
Awesome.
He
Love
helped a
him.
lot, like developing you.
Yeah, he's always these face-offs. You're usually like on your own a little bit.
Yeah.
So he'd always be in like my ear, telling me, "You got this. You're awesome. Keep kicking butt."
Yeah.
Yeah,
It must be
it's
cool
awesome.
for him to see a guy
Oh, yeah.
blow it up.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he loved it. And then your parents, obviously a huge part of your upbringing. Like,
Huge.
what's your relationship been like with your family?
I'm a big mama's boy, so I'm always hanging out with my mom.
Cool.
My parents, I had about 12 games this season in the PLL, and they came to about 9 of them.
Nice.
So they traveled all the way to Denver, Colorado. Went all over the place. They're always with me. I love them.
They were the same way when you were a football player.
Never missed a game in college. Never missed a game in high school.
Nice.
Yeah.
And is that kind of why you were attracted to Post, close to home?
Yeah,
your
I want
family
to stay close to home.
That's smart. You know, like it's funny. Like even when kids want to deny it, like, everyone's parent wants to come watch them play.
Yeah,
So you
yeah,
embrace it.
definitely.
You bring it in. It's like it makes the experience so much better.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. So that was after the second game. They did a great feature. It was cool. I love how they talked about you as a multi-sport athlete, something that we always preach in our club program.
Oh, yeah.
Like kids start specializing early on. Like we were talking about this on our podcast earlier this week. Like, you know, I was trying to draw the comparison to like my daughter who's almost 2 years old. Like if she was in a room full of toys, like in our living room, and I said you can only play with that toy at an early age, she'd like go crazy. Like you can't say that to a kid.
Yeah.
Parents
Yeah.
are doing that now for like 4th graders. Like, oh, you can only play lacrosse. It's like, you know,
Keeps you out of trouble too when you play different sports. When you're in like the high school age,
Totally.
you don't hang out with the bad kids. You hang out with athletes. It's good.
Exactly, especially when you're a competitive guy like you.
Oh yeah.
You know,
I
you're
played 3 sports through high school. I was always busy.
Yeah, I can't believe you almost did that in college too.
I know.
That would have been pretty wild.
They wanted me to do all 3 at the same time. I said that was too much because I was doing 2. So I would go from football practice in the morning, and I would go straight to lacrosse. I wouldn't eat for like 7-8 hours because I'd be nonstop right away.
Yeah, always busy.
Oh yeah.
It's good though. Your mom probably like that too.
Yeah.
keep you going. So you you just got an award. Talk about the award ceremony, and we'll kind of mention what you won.
So the PLL award ceremony was pretty sick. It was so professional.
Yeah.
The way they did it was awesome. They had all the free food, free open bar and all that too. And then I won the sportsmanship award, which
Absolutely.
was pretty awesome. It was. I was also nominated for the Rookie of the Year, which I was honored to just be a part of that.
Yeah.
Some really good guys in that.
We were talking earlier about the Dave Huntley Sportsmanship Award and why that's special. Like, I guess to you, like why do you think you won it? Why is that important to you? And maybe shed some light on that because I think it's important.
I think I won it because after every game I stay about an hour and a half signing autographs for all the fans, all the kids, and all that. And the reason why I do that is because when I was younger, me, my father, and my brother, we went to a New York Giants training camp up in Albany. And Brandon Jacobs was going down the line signing autographs. And then me and my brother were next. And then he said, I'm too tired. I got to go inside after practice. And then so I was like, if I ever get big like that, I want to make sure I sign every last autograph. Because I remember that to this day. I'm 22 years old. And I was about 9, 10 years old. And then just an extra little 20 minutes for the kid. Just sign the autograph, say, hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
It means the world to them.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's pretty cool that you can, like, internalize and remember that feeling and just be like, I'm not going to ever let another kid feel that same way.
Yeah, exactly.
Good for you, man.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, like, sportsmanship, you're one of the most competitive, you're one of the best players in the league, you're one of the youngest guys who's successful. It's like you can still be a good sport. You don't have to, like, just be the worst kid and, like, the worst team to get the sportsmanship award. I respect the league, too, for honoring someone like you in that. And I think in general what they did with the awards was really, really classy, and they picked the right people. I liked how they'd honored people of the past. That was pretty cool. Like, you had like the George Boiardi Hard Hat Award. I know a couple of guys. I think Dominique. You ever meet Dominique Alexander? Yeah. So he's a kid I knew growing up because my dad coached him a little bit. Tyler Warner played in our club program. He's a great kid. Yeah. So like it was cool to see some of the. They picked the right people in my opinion, which. I feel like with awards, a lot of times it can get very political. So to see the league do it classy and do it the right way was, I don't know, I thought that was pretty impressive. Now, this is pretty crazy. I think like to go from football player, you potentially were in a wrestling college, then you went to lacrosse player, then you get drafted by 2 outdoor pro leagues, and then now you just got drafted by an indoor pro league. That's, the indoor game is different, and it's difficult in different ways. How do you kind of like look at this like kind of new challenge in your life, and like are you excited for it, and what are you feeling?
I'm definitely excited. Yeah. I'm always up for the challenge, and I learn very fast, so I think I'll be pretty good at this. And
what are some ways that you're going to learn about the indoor game to like allow yourself to be successful when you're out there?
Actually, on my post team last year, we had a Canadian, Gillis. So he plays box, so I'm going to have him teach me a little bit about it.
Gotcha.
So we'll see.
What's he up to these days? Is he on Long Island?
Yeah, he's on Long Island right now.
No way.
He's playing. He's a sophomore.
Oh, perfect.
It's pretty good.
So he's still there?
Yeah.
All right, so while you're coaching him,
coach him and ask him for some tips.
Ask him the terminology. Hey, what does this mean?
Yeah.
Cut the floor. What's the floor? How many guys are out there?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And so you're drafted by the Riptide, which is an interesting time because there's Shelby hanging out back there.
He has something to say.
Shelby's a big Riptide fan. Shelby, you're always welcome out here.
Chuck Lawton called you Thor.
Love that guy.
Yeah, he just called you Thor.
We should have brought Chuck Lott in tonight too.
We could have him come on if he wants to come on and do like a guest or even.
I think Chuck's always welcome. He'll bring the energy. It'll be a positive. It'll always be a positive experience when Chuck's around.
Chuck Lott, if you're out there in TV land or Facebook land or YouTube land, please come here. We'd love for you to do comments. I know that Corey and Mike would love to have you on as a guest on the show as well.
We support you, Chuck. You're the man.
A legend.
Chuck is a legend.
Soon to be in paperback, now a full-length featured movie. That's what I have to say.
Cliff just dropped the mic. He's out. All right, so what we got to give the Riptide a plug because they were nice enough to offer 4 tickets, like really close to the boards for your home opener, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
So what we're gonna do tonight is we're gonna post a question up on our story, and then whoever I guess answers it correctly and DMs us the answer, we're gonna put in a lottery for them to win.
Let's
some
go.
tickets.
That's
So
awesome.
they'll come watch you play and get after it. Yeah, they have a good staff, the Riptide. So we've been talking to Courtney Bertolone. She's awesome. She works at the Riptide. Who are some of the people you've been working with there that like kind of like bring the new players in and kind of like teach you guys the ropes?
I've been talking to the Coach Reggie a lot.
Gotcha.
So
Reggie
I'm excited to get out there.
We got to get him on the show too.
Yeah.
He's a good man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a big box guy. Yeah, so like we're trying to get all the Long Island fans, to come and support you guys. So because back in the day, with the Saints being on Long Island, people used to love those games.
Yeah.
Like they got up for the Saints.
I think there's gonna be a lot of fans there.
I
A lot of
think
people
so.
I'm talking to are excited about it.
That's cool. Who are some people that you've been talking with? Just like family and friends, like
Family,
you gotta
friends,
come down?
just random people, like kids when I train.
Yeah.
They're always asking about it. They're excited.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to talk a little bit about what you're doing with the younger kids and how you're helping develop them as next future of the face-off
Yeah.
guys?
So I run my own little face-off training company, Farrell's Face-Off Training, and then I just work on them. Make sure that I want them to be better than me. So.
Do you ever go up?
Oh yeah, I go get every single practice.
I mean,
I gotta teach him. I gotta show him who's the boss. Still, I beat him a lot, but it's all about learning.
that's how they get better.
Yeah, exactly.
Go up against Thor. I mean,
Yep.
I know sometimes our face-off guys at practice, they just want to like just go off in a corner for a couple minutes and just go at each other because they know that's how they push
That's
each
how
other.
you
to
get
better.
better.
Yeah. No, it's cool. It's cool you're giving back and helping the kids and like they must love having you.
Oh,
coach
they
them
love.
up.
Yeah, they love
Yeah,
it.
they're into it. We should get Shelby down for a training session too. All right, cool. So we only have a couple minutes left here. I want to make sure I'm covering all the points because again, you've done a lot in a short period of time. Your social media following has kind of shown proof that things are blowing up. As you kind of like reflect back, I know you're kind of in the middle of all this right now, but as you reflect back, your dad said something really interesting in that video. Like, it's gonna be really cool for like your kids one day to see this. And what do you think he was kind of like talking about in that video when he said that? Like,
he talks a lot. I love the guy. He talks a lot. But I think he means it's gonna be really cool when I have kids and they're gonna look up and see that if you put your mind to something, you're able to do whatever you want.
yeah, that's a great like piece of advice. And it's cool that like it's all being documented in a really like tasteful, cool way. But I do agree. Like, he might talk a lot, but he's got some good points. My dad does the same thing. Doesn't stop talking. That's actually why he now does comments.
You can talk to anyone in the store. He'd be waiting online at Target or something. He's talking to the guy right behind him. You could talk.
That's probably why you're a man of few words.
Yeah.
Me too. I'm with you. There was a reference that U.S. Lacrosse had made about you being the Milkman. That's one of your nicknames.
Oh, yeah.
You want to talk a little about where that nickname comes from?
Yeah, so me and my brother, ever since we were younger, we would drink 7 gallons of milk a week. Literally, like each, 7 gallons of milk each.
That's absurd. So 14 gallons had to be in the house?
Oh, yeah.
Like on a Sunday?
Everyone told us how we needed to get a cow.
Do you have the property in the...
Yeah, we have an
Celtics,
acre. We have an acre.
Yeah, you can throw a cow back there with an acre, right?
Get the steaks later when it
It's
gets
not
old.
ideal grazing property, but like that's enough. That's pretty funny. I have a good like gallon of milk story. I had one of my favorite teachers growing up. He was a physics teacher. So back in high school, you have physics double period, so it was 90 minutes. It was like 40 minutes break, 40 minutes. So it was tough. But he was like, he got it. He's like, I'm not going to teach you for 2 straight periods. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So we'd watch like YouTube videos. We talk about like funny things, and then he teach us up and make sure we're ready for tests. And one day, these 2 knuckleheads in my class were like, it's not physically possible to drink a gallon of milk over the course of 2 periods. And he was like, yes, it is. And they're like, no, it's not. He's like, yeah, it is. I'm going to prove it to you tomorrow, like when we had a double period. We're like, no, you're not. The next day he comes in, he puts a gallon of milk on the desk. And we're like, there's no way he's going to do this. He goes over to the door at the front of the classroom and he locks it. And we're like, oh my God, he's going to do this. He takes out an empty Dunkin' Donuts cup. He always had like a tall Dunkin' Donuts hot coffee. He starts pouring the milk in. He starts drinking it. And he just goes on with the lecture, and we're like, he's going to do this. So we're slowly like, all right, it's 40 minutes through. He has, he's chipping away at this thing, and he's looking pretty good. The bell rings for that first period, and normally we get to go get a little break and get outside. He doesn't let anyone leave the classroom. At this point, he's like, you guys are going to watch me do this. So so there's proof that this is physically possible.
That's awesome.
Second period starts, he keeps going. Now at this point, word gets out around the school that he's doing this. There's a line building up outside the classroom to see this happen. Door's still locked. He's not letting anyone in. So there's about 7 minutes left in the second period, and he's got this much milk left in the gallon. And he takes a big sip, and he pulls the trash can over, and he lets it all go, and he couldn't keep it down. And opens up the door so casually. He says, "Class is dismissed." Everyone leaves. And he's an awesome dude. He's a competitor.
That's
he's
awesome.
a golf coach, and he was a little defeated, but like it was one of the most classic things I've ever seen in my entire
That's
life.
awesome.
So is it still physically possible? I'd like to see you try. I bet you could do it.
Oh yeah, I definitely can.
Yeah, he's a good man. His son actually now plays in our lacrosse program, ironically.
Cool.
Yeah, he's a good dude. Yeah, that's my only experience with gallons of milk. I don't drink as much milk. That's probably why I'm 150 pounds. Cool, man. So I appreciate you also giving some piece. The advice is big because like young kids watch this show. That you coach them up, and when they hear stuff like, if you put your mind to something, you can make it happen. It's so true because like I think a lot of times kids hit those roadblocks and they kind of move through them.
Yeah.
And I think athletics really teaches you,
the
importance of like keeping your mind to things. And that's something we talk about with Cliff because he has a show on entrepreneurship, and a lot of times it's that same thing. Like Cliff's using the analogy of like a Roomba, which is like that vacuum that like hits a wall and like keeps moving. And it's so true in athletics. Like a lot of kids get stuck and they don't really know like where to turn to, what to do. And I think a lot of times too, we were talking about this earlier this week on our podcast, like there's a lot of avenues to kind of quit and kind of like do something else now. Like let's say you're not getting playing time at your school, you transfer, or like, it's not working out for you, so you quit the sport. So I think you're a nice example of someone who like just kept sticking with something and like got after it. And look at you, you're doing good stuff, man.
Thank you.
So
Appreciate it.
Congratulations on all your success.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's all good. So we'll be back on next week. We have another guest coming on, Teddy Rawlings. He's actually currently a college basketball coach. Someone who he's a pretty cool story. I went to UPenn in Philly, and he was one of the most impressive kids I went to school with. He got into the school on his own. He was on the sprint football team. Do you know what sprint football is?
Well, my buddy's plays for UPenn, actually.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Very cool. So he was on the UPenn sprint football team. He worked at the local bar. He was the manager of the basketball team. He walked on the lacrosse team as a backup goalie.
Wow.
So he was someone that like he just wanted to be he just always wanted to be a part of something. And he obviously was pretty well rounded, did a lot of good stuff. And when he graduated and said, "I want to be a college basketball coach," I was like, "I'm going to see you coaching in March Madness within the next 30 years. I know it's going to happen." And he's like slowly working his way up, and he's getting there.
That's awesome.
And we're going to be interviewing him next week. I'm pretty excited, but hopefully you can watch and
yeah,
tune
definitely.
in. But thanks again for coming on.
No problem.
You were
Thanks
awesome.
for having me.
And we'll see you guys next week.